Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Morning Coffee with Mike. Today we are doing an open Q&A. Whatever questions you have, type them into the chat and we will get to as many questions as we possibly can today. So while we're waiting for everybody to hop on and to get their questions in, let's take a quick peek at the market. Few things happened yesterday, including earnings for NVIDIA. And here is NVIDIA blasting off to the moon. Show this chart with you guys over here. Yeah, there goes NVIDIA. A lot of people are taking profits early on. When you have a big gap up there, this gapped up almost 30% this morning. Whenever you have a big gap up like that, typically you'll see selling immediately, people taking profits. We'll see if that selling continues or if it continues to ramp higher. Something that's interesting about this particular gap up, it was getting close to touching 400. It was getting close to touching 400 pre-market during the session. Well, what did it get to? It got to 385, open there, and then started to sell off. And now you could even see too that it is getting a little bit of a bounce there. So little tiny bit on gap ups, especially breakaway gap ups like this right after earnings. But let's get into the questions that you guys have. I see a question here from Sanu about how to be disciplined in trading. How to be disciplined in trading. Great question. So part of what discipline boils down to is what? It's doing the same things over and over again that's leading you towards a result. So the way that I view discipline is by habit. Do you have great habits? Um, we all have habits, right? Well, whether we're consciously aware of the habits that we have or not, we all have habits. So do we have good habits? And the way that I define a good habit is it serving us toward our end goal? In many cases, not all of our habits are serving us. So how can we get habits that serve us? Great question. One of the ways to start to do that is to learn what great habits look like and what habits do we need. In the same realm of this discussion of habits, I would consider skills. So learning what skills do you need for trading. Wrote a whole book about that called The Trading Mind Wheel. You could see it right there behind me, or actually for you guys over here on YouTube. This is the book, The Trading Mind Wheel, on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere that you could buy books. So, what else about discipline? How do you build discipline? Well, you need to understand the types of habits that you need, and then how do you go about implementing these habits, right? Because so many of us will learn about a habit and then we try to do it, and then we start to fall off the wagon the moment that it starts to get inconvenient or harder and it's not really a priority. Oftentimes, that comes down to beliefs, right? And there's many different beliefs that might be holding us back from implementing these new habits. In fact, one of the first habits or skills that you need to develop that I talk about in the book is mindset. Mindset is one of the most important things that binds everything else. Mindset is our beliefs and our belief systems. So we need to understand, well, what's there? Well, what kind of beliefs do we have? And then we could start to figure out, well, these set of beliefs are helping me. These set of beliefs are like weeds. They're preventing me from getting to where I want to go. And we could start to weed our mental gardens and install the brand new beliefs that we want. Great. So we could start to go through some of those exercises that can get rid of some of the weeds that are blocking us. Well, what might some of these weeds be? Some of these weeds might be, well, I can't trade. Trading's hard. I might lose a lot of money if I trade. There's people on TV telling me that the market can't be timed. I tried listening to this guy's chart setup. I put it on, it went against me. So clearly, the market cannot be timed. Even this guy that I'm listening to had a losing trade. Great. It's a bunch of BS, right? So you can start to see how some beliefs can act like weeds that will prevent us from getting to where we want to go, that can affect our discipline that we want to build. That's why the first step for discipline, for habits, for skill building, for all of it is mindset. And that's why it's the first chapter, or really it's the size of a couple of chapters that I talk about in the Trading Mind Wheel. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, go get a copy of the Trading Mind Wheel. Let's see, well, what other questions are coming in? Instagram is going fast and furious over here. You guys over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, catch up. Someone's saying that my voice is not coming through over here on Instagram. Do you guys on Instagram hear me now? Someone asking about price action. Do I trust price action? Yes, absolutely. Price action is the reflection of everybody's actions, everybody's buying and selling. I trust price action far more than I would trust any kind of story that's being perpetuated by anybody else. Anybody else's analysis, I would trust the price action more, right? Because somebody else might be giving their thoughts and analysis on what they're seeing, and it might sound great, and I might end up agreeing with it. But price action is just fact. That's just the the result of the actions that buyers and sellers are taking. So price action, I see price action as truth, and it's up to us to figure out how we want to trade that. Let's see. Well, what other question came in? From Kelvin. Kelvin has two questions in here. How do I avoid going back to my bad trading habits? Okay, we kind of covered that one when we were talking about discipline. And the other question that Kelvin has is, how can I stick to a strategy? We'll go deeper into that one. How can I stick to a strategy? Well, you need to believe in the strategy. And the strategy that you're going to pick needs to align with your beliefs, your goals, and your ability to execute. It has to align with all three things. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you. I learned that the hard way. And it wasn't just when I was trying and failing for the first 10 years. It happened at that point, of course, but even after I found a system that made sense to me and I liked and I was able to execute it well and I actually performed well with it, it stopped working for me after my daughter was born. And the reason why was because of that last part, the ability to execute. I wasn't able to execute it well anymore because, well, being a new dad comes with its own responsibilities and its own uh, challenges and requirements needed to be, well, what I saw in my mind as being a good dad. So I wasn't able to give trading the attention that it needed, or my system that I had in the form that it was. I wasn't able to give it the attention that it needed. So it started to fail. That doesn't mean that you need to throw out the whole system. What it does mean is that you need to start to evolve. You need to start to make tweaks. So whatever system it is that you're going to be trading, it has to align with your beliefs, your goals, and your ability to execute. That's a super high level. And the first part of the discussion that we had when we were talking about beliefs, that is a key thing. You need to figure out what your beliefs are. So that way, and your goals, of course, so that way you can select the right strategy for you. And that will go miles for you actually sticking with the strategy. Let's see what other questions have come in. Great questions so far. I love it. A lot of people saying hello, 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 everybody. Hi from India. I learned India strategy. Always give me a loss. Please give me some advice. Well, if it's always giving you a loss, then why continue with the system? Here's another question. Do you believe that it's the system or is it the execution of that system? Meaning, is it perhaps you're not executing the system well? It's a common question. I had this question all the time when I was first starting out because you get this system, right? And you're kind of questioning whether or not the system really works. And you don't know enough to know, not know, like you don't know what you don't know. And there's nobody sitting there beside you to really help guide you. My advice would be to get somebody that's actually trading this system that can teach you. That is, of course, if you want to stick with the system. If you don't, then toss that system aside and find one that you actually like. There's plenty out there to choose from. You need to like the system that you're trading. It needs to make sense to you. It needs to help you get to your goals. And of course, you need to be able to execute it. That's why we were talking before. Beliefs, goals, ability to execute has to align with those three things. Next questions. All right. Follow up question from Kelvin. How will I know what my beliefs are? Very good. So, the way that you're going to find out what your beliefs are is to begin to question yourself. We have beliefs about everything. Beliefs are just, think of it like software. It's how we take action in the world. It's what allows you to walk across the street, right? And look both ways before you cross the street. Why do you look both ways before you cross the street? Because you have a belief that tells you that I need to check to see if cars are coming, otherwise I might get smashed, right? So we have beliefs about everything. So the the first question that you would need to ask yourself about trading is, what beliefs do I have about trading? And then see what comes up. It's not it's not just a thought exercise, it's an exercise where you should actually grab pen and paper and write it down. You literally have hundreds of beliefs that are related to trading. You might have a belief that says that trading is risky, trading is difficult, trading can make you a lot of money. All those are samples of different kinds of beliefs. You might have a very specific belief, a belief that says that trading growth stocks that have earnings of 25% or more quarter over quarter tend to produce better returns than stocks that do not. That's another sample of a belief. So you literally have hundreds of beliefs. Start writing those beliefs down. There's a number of different exercises that you could go through. That's a great way to start. There's more exercises in the Trading Mind Wheel. Again, the book right here, the Trading Mind Wheel on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, basically anywhere you could buy books. And the audiobook is also available now too. Any other questions from Karthik? Thank you so much for your golden words. You're a good man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do what I can. Do what I can. Feel very blessed to be in the position that I'm in. And so God gives us this life. It's up to us to serve. Use the gifts that God gives you and use them to help others. Where can you get it? Where can you get what, the book? The book is on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target, all these different spots. I believe uh, that it's also on Apple Books. So if you wanted to get an e-reader and read it on Apple Books or on Kindle, you could do that. Pretty sure Barnes& and Noble has a ebook reader too. And yeah, Audible, audiobooks, everywhere. Just Google Trading Mind Wheel and you'll find it. Uh, oh, Mark. Mark is over on YouTube. Mark says, "Good morning, Mike. Finished your book and loved it. Awesome. Glad to hear that you loved it. If you've read the book already, would you do me a favor and leave a review wherever it is that you purchased it? Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever you purchased it, go there, leave a review. If you really liked it, leave a 5-star review. Those help other people discover the book. And if you loved it, that'll help it get into more people's hands. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Well, what other questions do we have? All right. Any other questions? Here's one from Legend FX Trader. Been trading for years now. What makes a trader profitable? Simple answer is uh, bigger wins than your losses and a decent batting average. Now, how do you get to that? The way that you get to that, there's actually multiple skills that you need to acquire to become a profitable trader. And not just a profitable trader where you're going to have a couple of good trades, but where you're going to be consistent over many years. The skills that you need to develop. They're all discussed in the Trading Mind Wheel book. That's really why I wrote this book, to create a handbook, to create a blueprint for people that are just starting out of what it really takes to be successful at trading. It tells you about my own journey. It tells you about the journey of many of the people that I've coached along the way. It tells you things that I've learned from champion level traders, people like Mark Minervini, who's won the US Investing Championship twice. He actually wrote the foreword on the Trading Mind Wheel. People like Adam Sarhan, people like Jim Ropel, people that spoke at the Trading Mind Wheel virtual conference. That's another great thing too. For anybody that bought the book, make sure that you go to tradingmindwheel.com because there's bonuses that you'll get. First thing, you'll get access to the recording of the Trading Mind Wheel virtual conference. It was a full day. It was 8 hours long, and you'll get to see the whole thing. And we're also doing exclusive Q&As for anybody that purchased the book. So go to tradingmindwheel.com, register, right? So it's just putting in your name, your email, uploading a screenshot of the receipt. And we're going to do a live Q&A later in June. So make sure that you do that. All right. Some more follow-up questions from Kelvin. I had a strategy. I back tested for 1 year and I got a 75% winning rate with less trading time. Very good. Uh, I am already used to always trading every time. What's your advice? So, when it comes to this back testing for a year is good. It's a good start, but you want to make sure that you have multiple market cycles in your back test. So, what does that mean? You want to be testing how your strategy does in roaring bull markets, in choppy sideways markets, in bear markets, and everything in between. So that way you know exactly what to expect and when. Do that, and then you'll have even more confidence in going off and executing your system. That's where I'd start. All right. And looks like we are about out of time. So that will be it for today. I appreciate all of you that came in and with your great questions. And again, if you need anything at all, actually, let me see. Oh, Mark has one question. Let me answer Mark's question over here on YouTube. It's rare that we get questions from YouTube, and I want to make sure that we answer you guys too. So over here from Mark, when you were building your gauntlet and assigning weighted scores to your criteria, how did you go about determining what weight to give each? Now that is a fantastic question. I love it. I love the detail of it. And the short answer was trial and error. So the first thing that I did with the gauntlet, I gave everything the exact same equal weighting when I first started out, and I wanted to see, well, what things got checked and how and why, and what started to lead to different types of results. Each letter of the gauntlet still has the same points. So 2 points is assigned to each letter of the gauntlet. The gauntlet looks at my strategy, my methodology, which I call EAGLE. Each letter is an acronym for different things that I look for in a trade, and each letter is assigned 2 points. Now, each item within the gauntlet gets a different assignment, and the weights were assigned as I started to do post analysis and started to get more of a feel for what led to greater outcomes. My own post analysis, and also looking at stocks that historically moved and produced great gains over time. It's an ongoing process. As I learn more, the tool gets refined. And that's basically it. Great question to end it off with. I'm going to have to hop off now. I have some meetings that I have to go to today, some one on ones with our new VIPs. So, again, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you back here again tomorrow for the next Morning Coffee with Mike. Take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love. Peace out, everybody.